In this video, we're going to be graphing a linear function when it's written in function notation, and then we're also going to do an application problem for a function that's written in function notation. So for letter A, we're going to be graphing the linear function s of x equals 1/2 x minus 2, and we're going to be using a table to help us with that. So what we're going to do first is we're going to be plugging each of these x values, or our inputs, in for x. And then the answer that we get out is going to be our output, which is our s of x. Because remember, function notation can be a simpler way of writing y, or just basically it's like saying y equals. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug each of those numbers in. So we're going to have 1/2 times -4 minus 2. Then we're going to have 1/2 times -2 minus 2, then 1/2 times 0 minus 2. Now, if you're wondering where in the world am I getting these numbers from, I'm getting them right here from our input places on our table. And so that's how I know what numbers to use. So I have 1/2 times, what would be my next number? That's right, it would be the number 4. And then minus 2. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to work each of these out and get our answer. And so here, when we work these out, we see that we get a value of -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. So we're going to take each of these values here, each of our answers, and we're going to put them into our outputs. So, respectively, for whichever input we had used to get those. And then we're going to graph them. So for -4, I was at -4, and at -2, I was at -3, and 0, and -2, and 2 was -1, and 4 was 0. So now that I have my points, since I'm graphing a linear function, I need to connect those points with a line, and we're done. So notice how graphing a linear function, when it's written in function notation, is just the same as graphing a function that's not written in function notation. Let's do an application problem. So take a look here at example B. It says the function b of m equals 50m plus 150. And this represents the balance in dollars in your savings account after m months. And the table shows the balance in your friend's savings account. Who has the better savings plan? Well, the only way to really check this out is if we can compare them. Since we don't have the equation for our friend's saving plan, but we do have our equation, it makes more sense to make a table of values for our savings plan. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a table for our savings. So we'll have our months and we'll have the balance, just like our friends table. And we'll use the same numbers, so 2, 4, and 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug in each of those values, the 2, the 4, and the 6, into our equation. So we'll have 50 times 2 plus 150, and that is going to give us the value 250. And so we'll put that in our table. So right now it looks like our friend's balance is a little bit better. Let's look at F4. So we're going to go 50 times 4 months plus 150. And when we plug that into our calculator, we're going to see that there we're going to have $350. So after 4 months, it looks like our friend's plan is still better. Let's try the 6th month though. So 50, what are we going to plug into our spot there? That's right, we're going to plug in the 6. So when we plug in the value of 6, that's going to give us a value of $450. So 450. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to compare which we kind of been doing along the way. So after 2 months, we had 250 and our friend had 330. Theirs was better. After 4 months, we had 350 and they had 410. So theirs was still better. After 6 months, we had 450 and they had 490. But it seems like each time we're getting closer and closer to them. So what I mean by that, let's move this over, is that if we take our friend's balance, let's use our friend's stuff as green. So friend, right? Here's our friend stuff. So our friend had $330 after 2 months, and we had $250. And so if we look at the difference there, we see that we have a difference of $80. And the next month, our friend had $410, or rather in 4 months, and we had $350, which was only a difference of $60. And after 6 months, our friend had a value of $490, and we had a value of $450. So if we look at the difference there, we see that's only a difference of $40. So what that means is that, yeah, right now it looks like our friend has more money, but after a few more months, we're going to have more than them. So really, who has the better savings plan? And the answer is, we do. Because in the long run, we're going to be the ones that end up saving more. So it's always important to make sure you look at the patterns, not just the end numbers, because our pattern shows that we have the better savings account, even though our friend's savings were higher for the 3 months that we looked at.